Anyone who looks at the Browns' depth chart today might think that it's become a quarterback fair in Cleveland. The franchise simply piled up 4 names at the position, including 2 rookies who just arrived in the draft and veteran Joe Flacco, not to mention the arrival of Kenny Pickett, who is still trying to show that he deserves a permanent place in the NFL. And if that already sounds busy, just wait until you find out what the team might be planning behind the scenes with this excess of QBs. And as if that weren't enough, another controversial decision is coming. While investing heavily in quarterbacks, the Browns left aside a clear need in the offense, and now big names are emerging on the market that could change this scenario. So, Browns fans, you can't miss any details of what's going on. Leave that naughty-like and come with us. The Browns are stacking up quarterbacks like it's Black Friday at Best Buy. Cleveland grabbed Dillon Gabriel in the 3rd round and Shedeur Sanders in the 5th, tossing them into a room that already has Joe Flacco and Kenny Pickett chilling on the depth chart. That's 4 QBs, and according to ESPN's Jeremy Fowler, the Browns might be looking to flip one of them if another team's signal caller goes down and desperation kicks in. Let's talk numbers. Cleveland went on a bit of a QB shopping spree, coughing up a 3rd rounder for Gabriel, a 5th and 6th for Sanders, and another 5th to snag Pickett from Philly. So yeah, they're going to want to get some of that draft capital back. And while Pickett has the most NFL seasoning of the non-Flacco group, the Browns just passed on his 5th-year option. Not shocking, since he's not the clear-cut starter, and that option would have cost over $22 million. That's a heavy price tag for a guy who's still fighting for a steady gig. Training camp is going to be spicy. You've got the veteran in Flacco who's still got some gas in the tank, a former 1st-rounder in Pickett trying to reboot his career, and 2 rookies with promise. Pickett's resume still shines from college, Heisman finalist, ACC Player of the Year. But since getting drafted by the Steelers in 2022, it's been a roller coaster. Pittsburgh moved on, shipping him to Philly earlier this year. With the Eagles in 2024, he played in 5 games, made 1 start, and put up solid, if not spectacular, numbers. 291 yards, a pair of TDs, 1 pick, and even rushed 1 in. Bottom line, Cleveland's QB room is packed, and someone's getting squeezed out. Whether it's a rookie riding the trade wave or Pickett finding a new zip code again, don't be shocked if the Browns cash in their QB surplus when the injury bug bites elsewhere. What do you think? Should Cleveland ride this depth or deal from strength while they can? So fans, what would you do with all these quarterbacks in Cleveland? Keep them all or try to cash in on a trade? Comment below. Now hold on tight because the next news is even more intriguing, especially if you think the Browns' offense is ready for the season. All right, so the Browns loaded up on quarterbacks in the draft, 2 of them to be exact, but somehow didn't grab a single wide receiver. Not one. That's a bold strategy for a team that's already paper-thin behind Jerry Jeudy, especially if Shedeur Sanders ends up being the future under center. And yeah, they added Diontae Johnson, but let's be real. He's bouncing around like a ping-pong ball lately and hasn't looked like the guy from his Pittsburgh days. Last season, Johnson barely cracked 375 yards, and his touchdown total matched your average backup tight end. Now here's the twist. Gabe Davis just hit the open market after the Jaguars pulled the plug 1 year into a 3-year, $39 million deal. His stint in Jacksonville was forgettable. 20 catches, 239 yards, and a couple touchdowns in 10 games. Not great, not terrible, but definitely not worth $13 million a year. Still, the guy has juice. Anyone who watched his Buffalo days knows what he can do. He averaged nearly 17 yards a catch there and had a sneaky good 2022 campaign with 836 yards and 7 scores. Look, Davis isn't going to step in and become WR1, but he does bring something this Browns offense sorely lacks. A vertical threat who can stretch the field and open things up underneath. He's big, athletic, still only 26, and could grow right alongside Shedeur if the rookie ends up getting real reps this year. And let's be honest, if Cleveland was willing to take a flyer on Johnson, then rolling the dice on a younger, more explosive Davis should be a no-brainer. The Browns don't need another superstar. They just need reliable, playmaking depth. And Gabe Davis could be that exact puzzle piece. especially at what's likely to be a team-friendly price. So why wait? Sign the guy, open up the offense, and give your young quarterback some real weapons to work with. Look, as a Browns fan, it's impossible not to be wary of these decisions. Stacking quarterbacks without guaranteeing them decent targets seems like one of those gambles that we've seen backfire before. If Shedeur Sanders or any of these young guys are put on the field without a reliable receiving core, the pressure will explode. And with Gabe Davis on the market, there's no excuse to let this opportunity pass. Cleveland needs to stop playing chess with the QB position and build a truly complete offense. If you want to stay up to date with the news that could change the course of our season, subscribe to the channel and hit the bell. Here you won't miss a thing about your favorite team.